Pro Tour Aetherdrift just finished in Chicago this weekend, and look what won. First place, Domain Overlords. Second place, Domain Overlords. And tied for third place, Domain Overlords. Do you think Domain Overlords is good in the current meta? I think it might be, and I think we're going to see a huge surge of people playing this deck on Arena. And if you're going to play a Domain Overlords deck, why not play Matt Nass's #1 deck? We're going to dig into it. Let's take a look at make some very interesting choices for a Domain deck. Let's go. Welcome to the Attic. Manadad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. What's fun? Boy, it was a cool Pro Tour this weekend. There were a lot of spicy decks. There's a great Frank Karsten article, which hopefully I'll remember to link in the description, that had a bunch of the spicy deck lists. But it was an old spice, really, in many ways, that came to the fore this weekend in Domain Overlords, except maybe a little bit different. The #1 most played card from Aetherdrift was this, Ride's End. The Overlord decks and other decks were playing this. And look at Matt Nass's winning deck here. 4 of Ride's End. Instant speed, exile target tap permanent if it's it will cost 2 mana if you do that. Otherwise it's 5. You're getting a creature or vehicle with it. I didn't read that very well, but you know the card. You faced this card. And, of course, it works very nicely with Up the Beanstalk, which is still busted with the Overlords. So Matt is maxing out just the green and the white ones. No splashing blue or black ones, as some other decks do. For the board wipes, really interesting. Just 1 Sunfall. He took down the whole tournament with just 1 Sunfall. 2 Days of Judgment, or Day of Judgments, depending on how you want to pluralize that. But in the main deck, 3 temporary lockdowns. And the sideboard is not offering a lot. The sideboard is really about dealing with discard decks or control or graveyard decks. Does have some Nisses and some Atraxes, so you can do a little bit of a transformational thing. But we're playing best of 1. You can look at that at your leisure. Let's go. Keep going on this deck. So only 2 of Get Lost. I've seen other decks running more. 2 of Analyze the Pollen. I've seen other decks running more. 4 of Zur Eternal Schemer. I think before this Pro Tour, I would have said 3 is what people are playing, but a lot of the pros were playing 4. I guess the idea is just turn 5, you get that Overlord down on turn 3. Turn 4, you slam your 5th land, you play Zur, you activate the Overlord, and you're off to the races. And if opponent doesn't have the Ride's End or the Leyline Binding, then look out. 1 of Biza, again, just stabilizing against the aggro decks, really relying on the temporary lockdown, not so much on the Biza for that. And just a very simple, clean list. No Cavern of Souls in the mana base. Just 1 of each of the basics that are in the deck. And then really relying on the shadowy backstreets and the hedge mazes to do the Surveil Land thing. And a couple Razor Verge Thickets. Also just be sure to hit that second green on turn 3, I guess. Well, I guess we do have 4 Lush Porticos. So a lot of tap lands, actually. But fewer Verges, maybe. Just 3 of the Floodfarm Verge. And 4 of the Hushwood and 2 of the Wastewood. So anyways, super interesting list. I'm curious how it's going to play in best of 1. I hope you are too. Stick around to find out how it plays. And, of course, stick around to the very end to see the actual win rate of the deck, not just the games I was able to fit into the video. Without further ado, let's play the #1 deck coming out of this weekend, Matt Nass's Domain Overlords.
Hey, it's me, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Actually, haunting and overlording are just my hobbies. My day job is managing the YouTube algorithm. I try to make sure lots of negative, conspiracy-laden clickbait shows up in your feed. Nightmare fuel. Whatever you do, don't like, comment, or elder gods forbid, subscribe to a channel like this one, okay? We don't need your feed filled up with people who genuinely enjoy playing Magic like this so-called Manadad. He puts deck lists and other useful links in the description. He even shows real win rate stats at the end of the videos. Yikes. Clicking on positive, helpful videos takes away from the time I could be spending haunting woods or putting my friend Writhing Chrysalis into draft boosters. But you don't have to take it from me. 9 out of 10 players who want to unban grief agree. Now let's see. What is your racist uncle clicking on today? He has impeccable taste. Let me send some of those videos your way.
Okay, number 1 domain. This looks like a risky keep. And opponent, the opponent is going first. Get that second white source. We've got the temporary lockdown. They've already taken a mulligan. We'll take a mulligan. This is just better. Although, don't get a white unless until we get that Forester Plains. But I guess maybe it isn't better. We'll keep it and we'll ditch what? Don't know exactly what we're going to need yet. I guess Leyline Binding is less going to be less available with just one land with a basic land type. And coming down with the Hopeless Nightmare. I guess is Ride's End. Okay, well, turn 1 Surveil. Razor Verge Thicket, don't need it. Temporary Lockdown should take care of this deck. Gonna make us discard like everything in our hand first. Okay, another Temporary Lockdown. Play out a couple more 1-drop things, please. No? Okay, well, looks like we got wrecked by the auto tapper there. Go ahead and ramp. Question is, if they make us ditch a card here, what do we lose? Are we going to be safe with 1 temporary lockdown? And no follow-up threat? I'm gonna do 2 temporary lockdowns. You never know. They have to run away? No, they're just gonna sacrifice it. Okay, well. That's way better than the run away together. Ooh, and they are out of ammo somehow. Ride's End may be useful. Well, if we just want to dig for our beans, our beanstalk, what would Matt Nass do? WWMNB. Probably dig for Zur to just close out this game. And there's the other Hopeless Nightmare. Huh. I guess we'll lose our temporary lockdown. Maybe we were supposed to hold back that land. There's the Zur. Okay. Didn't counter it. We may have removal for the Overlord. Looks like they have removal for Zur, actually. Nowhere to run. Double nowhere to run? Okay. And to go for the throat? Okay. Got a 2-for-1 yourself. I'm fine with that. Do they have any cards in hand? Doesn't look like it. You could actually animate the temporary lockdown here. Let's smack it in with that. Draw a card off Leyline Binding. Another Ride's End. Oh, this time we'll keep that, I suppose. If we can remove temporary lockdown, they'll get their guys back, but we'll exile the guys. Meantime, we need to be trying to close this one out. Bounce their stuff back. Not great. We'll exile that instead. And we've got another Zur. Let's come smack it in with the ley line. Life linking, death touching. They get removal. Seem to be just clicking around. Be doing some math here. I wonder if I was supposed to attack with Zur just to incentivize them to attack me back. And okay. Well, between the Leyline Binding and the Ride's End, see if they have any instant speed reactions here. We got the 2-3. That went well. And then take out the Pixie. And bounce it back to your hand. Oh, they got my Zur. Okay, well. Little did you know. I guess I could have played that land first, so I protected against that. So Matt Nass definitely would have made that mistake. Ooh, they get Fear of Isolation. Okay. Well, that's Beanstalk. So we can Zur animate. And now we can Zur animate Leyline. And that finally gets the scoop from the Pixie. Playing some #1 Domain Overlords. Up against Dongzilla. No comment. Okay, one comment. If you have to name yourself Dongzilla. That is a confession. I mean, we don't mind getting Hauntwoods Verge. We kind of probably want to find some other form of removal. Get lost one thing. They're coming hot out the gate here. Shadowy Backstreet will be useful eventually. Swift Spear. I've paused too long. They now know I have instant speed removal. See if it scares them away from doing anything. The lightning strike. Okay, well, we're still going to get lost your biggest guy. Backstreet. We'll get Leyline down to 3, but we still can't cast it. Don't have anything better to do though. Analyze the pollen is a bit slow, I think. I mean, we will eventually need blue. This maybe we'll keep it. Analyze, go fetch blue, leyline something. Question is, the 3 cards in hand, they could probably deal 9 before we even get a chance to Overlord. Cracking maps is probably a good sign. They get Urbra's Forge on top. They're probably going to keep that, yeah. Okay. Comes in for 2. Did they make it more? No. Interesting. I wonder if they flood it out. So, yeah, I guess we don't want to Zur, though. We want to just Overlord. Make some chump blockers, and I guess hope what we hit the board wipe. They're going to use the lightning. They could have won last turn with that. Interesting. Not sure Dongzilla really knows how to play their deck. With the Urbra's Forge, yeah. They're oopsing all over the place. Well, yeah, you can stop oopsing. It's going to be a big oops if I draw my board wipe. If not, okay, or you have that. So it was obnoxious oopsing. I should have known from Dongzilla what to expect. Okay. Hope everybody out there is enjoying their day. Those in the US. What'd you do over your 3-day weekend? Anything fun? Did you just watch the Pro Tour? Well, Sunfall, I guess we'll keep it. We don't know what we're up against, but we've seen a lot of aggro type decks. Swamp Duress. I think Beanstalk is gone. And that is unfortunate because Beanstalk is really what we want in this deck. Far they're not doing anything though. If they give us something we can exile. Artifact or creature card. Nope, I did not draw any. Back streets back. Alright. Ooh, okay. We can Beanstalk. Hope we don't need to use this ley line before we get the Beanstalk down. Mono Black's going to have a hard time dealing with the Beanstalk. Are they just all discard cards? They're not playing anything to the board? Yep. Wisely cycles intimidation tactics. Let's see, we'll draw another leyline binding. Alright, pass turn. Well, we can't exile anything if they never play anything. Okay, a max speed deck, Unholy Annex, sure. We will go ahead and remove that before they get to their end step. Yeah, Leyline's about to cost 2. Still no way to go on the attack with them. The Speed Demon. It's a hasty one. Oh, they don't attack with it. Oh, it's not hasty. Forgot. Why wouldn't Speed Demon have haste? So weird. Well, what do we want to do? We can analyze the pollen. Do we have 8 worth in the graveyard? Not yet. Maybe I was supposed to Ride's End there. I think we just Zur and hit him with something. Guess we'd rather they get back. They're demon because we have removal for that. Another Up the Beanstalk? Sure, why not? Alright, so if they have a bunch of removal in their hand, Zur and the Leyline Binding are going to get it. Yeah, interesting. Okay. We're going to double remove on the Leyline Binding just to get the Speed Demon going. Do they have removal for Zur as well? They do. Okay. Well, we took a lot of stuff out of their hands. We can now Sunfall if we want to. Maybe just Sunfall, draw a bunch of cards. And all of these are tap lands for us, so let's just surveil. Well, yep, we'll try Zur again. Rather use Zur on the Overlords, but so it goes. Soulstone at Sanctuary hits us for 3, ups their speed to 2. They got nothing else though. Temporary lockdown. That doesn't really hit. I mean, it would hit their things, but it also hit our beanstalks, so cool on that. We certainly have enough now to go analyze the pollen and find whatever we want. I think is going to be meat over there. I think it's going to be Overlord of the Mist Moors. Oh, we could hardcast it. That's interesting. Chill. We'll just cast it like this. Draw a couple cards. Yeah, we can get over where the Hauntwoods going to. Now our Zur is going to be cooking when it comes down. We're willing to spend a cut down on the 2-1. We could care less. Sitting at 23 with a huge grip of cards. Cut down, they get their speed up to 3. Maybe they drop a demon and draw 3 cards on us? Let's see. At a certain point, they're not even going to want to do that because we're going to have them so low. They got 1 card in hand. Oh, my brother's on. Just a minute, bro. Recording. All right. Here we go. Animate the 6/5. Animate the 6/6. Yep. There's this. Number 1, Domain Overlords up against Slithra. If you have a problem with your Slithra, you should consult a urologist. And one is going first. This kind of looks terrible land-wise, so let's just send it back. Will we want to analyze the pollen? We might, because we might need a second green source. Which means, I guess, Day of Judgment by default, or we could actually lose one of these tap lands. Or the swamp. Try it. Now we kind of maybe wish we had the Surveil land. Opponent is surveilling away on their end. It wisely shuffles it down a cut down, and I guess it doesn't really matter. We could go find a blue source. Second white source? No, we got second white source. Yeah, let's just not cast that. Let's just pass. Simple Locust Spray. They came equipped to deal with the aggro decks. Lumbering World Wagon, okay. It's a good card. I have seen people run that in this deck as kind of like extra copies of the Overlord effect. We'll see if they can animate the World Wagon here. That might be kind of nasty because I think it enters or attacks trigger, yeah. Let's hope they got nothing. Unholy Annex, okay. Wheel? Pretty much always want to remove this sooner rather than later. And just set another ticking time bomb. Nice, now we can block the World Wagon. Don't have anything in our graveyard to analyze the pollen, collect evidence with. Cut down! Okay. Now it's just chumping the World Wagon. It's less exciting. Well, it actually does have creatures. Look at that. Let's mac us for 7. Do we Rides End or do we just Day of Judgment? Let's see what we've got coming up here. Hedge Maze? No. Kind of want to save Rides End in case we get a Beanstalk. Only at 4 out of 8 for Analyze the Pollen. But Overlord's coming up next turn, and then the turn after that, Overlord. Miss Morris. Selithra, Obstinate Baloth. Okay. Well, now maybe wish we held up Ride's End to get that World Wagon. 8, go to 5. And it's getting pretty desperate here. So, let's see. If we take out the vehicle, now we could analyze the pollen. Find a creature. Can't afford bees. So I guess it's just Overlord of the Hauntwoods. We have one coming online next turn, so that's just the way it is. They don't have removal for it. If we get a Zur, we could be right back in it. Don't really like our chances with them having 4 cards in hand, though. They're going to make a demon. Okay. We get drained down to 1 life, and we draw a forest. Good game. Playing the #1 champion deck of the Pro Tour. And opponent goes first, but I guess we'll just hope we've got the temporary lockdown opponent. They duress. They take... what is it? They take the leyline binding, okay. We've got all our basics. Deep Cavern Bat takes a lockdown, I guess. See, they can pretty much get us if they have 1 more hand attack spell. Yep. Alright, now we're relying on Day of Judgment. We don't have the 2nd green to cast Overlord next turn. Got the 2nd white, right? So... Unholy Enemies. Hey, there's the 2nd green. A little late to the party. I mean, at this point, we'd probably just rather... Well, we could hard cast Hauntwoods next turn, so... Yeah, right. Zer. Do we let them drain us another turn? We probably have removal for Overlord of the Hauntwoods. What can we get? I feel like we wish we had a creature in this deck that that could remove enchantments. Really don't. We have Biza that can at least catch us up on life. Or do we just get a surveil land to try and surveil closer to something next turn? So we'll go get the Biza option. Another bat. They just don't quit with the bats. Take the Zur. Maybe we were supposed to get a 2nd Zur? I mean, what are the chances they were going to have Deep Cavern Battron? Huh. Okay. Well, Overlord of the Mistmoor sounds pretty good, but I think this will get us life, a card. And get the removal out of opponent's hand. This deck really does not do as well when it doesn't get the beans. Liliana of the Veil. Because why wouldn't they have that? Huh. At this point... I don't want to lose any of these cards. Guess if I have to lose one, I'll lose the Hauntwoods. Hit Liliana for 2. Show me something good on top. That's what she said. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I mean, I guess we can eventually win that way, right? Like, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We were one away from hard casting this. It can make us discard the temporary lockdown. Maybe we weren't supposed to play that land. I don't know. All I know is they're drawing 2 cards a turn. We need to get some pressure on them. A matter of time before they find another demon. Or Unstoppable Slasher. Or their 4th Deep Cavern Bat. It's fine. I mean, I'd rather you have that card locked behind a bat.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Casting. I mean, I'll send it in. Probably don't trade a bat for it. These fish can chump the Slasher for a little while. They're considering giving us back temporary lockdown because at this point, what does it do? It takes, I guess it takes their other bat and they're nowhere to run. Maybe they don't give that back. Definitely don't want to give us Zur. Zur turns all my guys into Death Touchers.
Don't overthink things.
Hauntwoods Verge is not great, Bob. I guess they don't necessarily make us discard it, so we'll hold it back. They have the better draw engine, though. Rest, haha. See? Tricked him. Another Slasher, okay. They probably attack with a Slasher now? Maybe? I have a lot of exile-based spells in my deck if I can just find them. I feel like this deck is well equipped to deal with Slashers. I am, however... down to the dregs here. Guess Miss Morris is coming out next turn. That is blocker. If 2 Slashers hit you, does that still just a half and a half, right? I mean, it would hurt. It would be painful. Go to 20. Go to 18. Hey, it's a get lost. Okay, so what do we want to get back? Temporary lockdown, not so much. I guess we'll get back the Zur. Fire up this lockdown. There's another Slasher blocker / attacker. they got a cut down on top. That gets rid of Zur. Oh, they ditched it. Okay, so they possibly already have one in hand. They managed to get both their slashers big enough to be harder to chump block. Five. Now the way is clear for big attack. Whoo! And they scooped. They scooped. Did you see that one coming? If you did, leave a comment. Let me know how you knew that was going to happen. I mean, we're going to attack and gain a bunch of life, but they still had the 2 slashers on board. I don't think we had lethal, did we? Didn't have a draw engine or anything. I don't know why they scooped. But I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, in this case, what you see is what you get. Went 3 and 2. Should we have gone 3 and 2? Maybe not. 100% on the play, 50% on the draw. Just a little zigzag, but we did rank up 1 slot in, how long did it take us? 36 minutes. So I don't think it's the best deck for best of 1. On the other hand, it definitely seems well positioned for the meta. I think you could probably make adjustments if you're confident that you are a better deck builder than Matt Nass, which I am not. But anyways, Domain Overlords. It is what it is, and it is still pretty good. Still pretty awesome. Thanks for joining me in the attic. I've been Mana Dad, reminding you Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.